It's been an aggressive launch of development and recovery campaign in Borno State since Professor GOV.ZULUM assumed office as the executive governor of Borno State. Having suffered setback from decade-long Boko Haram insurgency, Governor Zulum's forward-thinking leadership has continued to intensify efforts in his bid to reposition Borno as a stabilizing power of tropical Africa. Welcome to Borno Restoration. I'm Jessie Tafida. But first, let's bring you Borno today. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program is designed to improve the enrollment rate by mopping out of school children from the streets. The scheme was aimed at specifically targeting vulnerable children to encourage them to go back to school. Today, the ministry has commenced the biometric data capture of 642,000 pupils to scale up the implementation of the program. The National Orientation Agency is in charge of the exercise.
Consultant and other members of our team met with the state government official and His Excellency directed all the local government chairmen to also assist in distributing this form, because some of these local cannot be reached without clearance from the security agents. So we're happy that to tell people that almost all the local government areas have gotten their forms, and then the distribution is still going on because of the enormous number of the schools and the pupils being increased.
The only challenge we're having is that initially we were planning for 112,500 beneficiaries in Borno State, but the figure based on an updated data rose to 642,500. So I have only 55 tablets for this exercise so far. I'm expecting 212 other tablets any moment from now.
The exercise will be handled by co-members in Maiduguri, Jere and Biu local government councils, while personnel of the NOA will take charge of the registration in the 24 local councils. Teachers of the various schools visited appreciated the gesture by the federal government. They believe that this will go a long way in bringing soccer to vulnerable children in the state. The Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast has left almost 2 million people displaced and about 10 million in need of life-saving services. While the humanitarian response has focused on the provision of food, shelter and physical health essentials, mental health needs remained largely overlooked. In such circumstances, women and girls face challenges in securing their safety as they bear the brunt of sexual and gender-based violence. Victims get little or no psychosocial support due to poor access to healthcare facilities and the fear of stigma. It is against this backdrop that ambassadors of Dialogue, Climate and Reintegration have organized this one-day dialogue workshop to enhance capacity of mental health and psychosocial support officers to deliver effective services for sexual and gender-based violence and violence against women and girls in Borno State.
There is a lot of trauma, post-traumatic stress disorders, and a lot of trauma that needs to be healed. And so the work of mental health officers across facilities is very essential because it's strengthening the early recovery of survivors of violence. The program is funded by Women's Peace and Humanitarian Fund, which is a UN civil society partnership to support the capacity of local organizations that are implementing violence against women.
Participants at this dialogue see the workshop as a step in the right direction due to the recent rise in cases of GBV in the region.
Let the girls have the awareness of their rights on this very particular issue, and let the government bring to book anybody that violates. no matter who you are, position doesn't matter.
The program that I'm going to get from this place, what I'm going to learn to this place, I'll take it down, and I know it's going to be very, very beneficial to our survivors that will be coming to our facility to seek for help.
The project is a 24-month intervention across 5 local councils of MMC, Jere, Kontega, Monguno, and Goza.
To continue to surrender and lay down their arms and to
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has called on insurgents, bandits, and violent groups to lay down their arms and surrender before it's too late. He gave the ultimatum in Maiduguri while addressing troops during the flag-off of a special welfare flight for personnel of Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai. Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya lauded the synergy among the military and security agencies in the fight against insurgency, saying it yielded positive results.
already you can see we are getting them in droves surrendering already, and we urge them to continue to surrender and lay down their arms and to the line of peace. Line of peace is the way. It's the way for development. It's the way for peaceful living. It's the way for peaceful coexistence. So those other ones in the bush, we call on them to also come and surrender their arms like their other colleagues who have seen the light and chosen the right thing to do. So that we conclude, if they fail, we will get them, we'll get to them.
One thing that catches your attention when you visit Borno is the massive construction work going on across the state. From roads to flyovers, schools and other strategic infrastructure, it has been a form of rekindled hope of sustainable future for many Borno residents. Let's take this report. Since 2009, violent activities by the Boko Haram insurgents have deeply affected northeast Nigeria and the lives of about 15 million people across the region. The armed conflict has killed more than 20,000 people and displaced 2.2 million others. Affected communities have experienced severe damage to their social fabrics, extensive destruction of infrastructure, while basic socio-economic needs remain largely unmet. Borno State, the epicenter of the insurgency, has been swimming against the tide with delivery of socio-economic and infrastructure development that many have attributed to successive years of visionary leadership. In the last 2 years, the state, under the leadership of Professor GOV.ZULUM, has continued to position itself as the shining light in the Western Sahel region with construction of massive mega schools, road rehabilitation, construction and expansions, as well as water supply and affordable healthcare delivery. It is the kind of development project that the state has been yearning for so long. From rehabilitation of Polo Road, Kano Highway and Dala Road, to the newly constructed Dapchirima Road, Abuja Talakawa Road, and other strategic projects being uniquely executed across the state, Borno State has been transformed into a massive construction site. To scale up infrastructure works in the state, Professor GOV.ZULUM ordered the immediate use of 18 heavy-duty road construction machineries worth 1.4 billion naira, which the state took delivery of in May 2021. The equipment includes 4 evacuators, 2 peeling machines, 8 driving rollers and graders, as well as 2 bulldozers imported to boost capacity of resident engineers working with the state government on series of infrastructure development projects. Early last year, in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, Governor Zulum flagged off the construction of the custom area flyover in Maiduguri. The custom area is one of the oldest commercial hubs in the entire northeast region. Many traders and commuters ply this highway to other parts of Africa and the world. When completed, this flyover will not only ease the heavy gridlock often associated with the area, but also serve as a focal point of development in the northeast, being the first of its kind in the region.
This flyover that is being constructed will solve a lot of problems in Maiduguri. We are happy with it because it will bring a lot of improvement. It is a good job and we cannot wait for its completion. Kudos to the governor.
One arm of the flyover towards the east, the Maiduguri-Bama Highway, is the gateway to countries like Cameroon, Sudan, and the Central African Republic, which is also undergoing rehabilitation. The south end of the flyover connects the capital to southern Borno, while the northern axis leads to the main Maiduguri metropolis.
It is a 2 ramps flyover. It has 2 bridges, one leading from Teshambama to Sakashin Ibrahim Road, linking Maiduguri town. And the other one, we call it that Ram A. Ram B is connecting from Gomborungala Road to Teshambama. So the Ram B road is about 584 meters. That's over half a kilometer. And Ram B is about 472 meters, just a little lower than Ram A. Custom area, this area is a marketing area and it has economic significance to the state. And there's a lot of congestion here in custom area because it leads to major roads, to Bama Road, to Gomboru, Ngala, up to the neighboring countries. So it is a very big area. So the government decided to decongest this area. That's why it decided to make a flyover, one. And secondly, to beautify the city because Maiduguri, as I've told you, is a big town.
The custom area flyover and other projects across the state is the manifestation of Professor Babagana Zulum's systematic and all-inclusive approach to governance, a form of developmental strategy that is designed to connect human capital development and job creation, as well as avenues for generation of revenue for the state government to support other sectors of the economy. No doubt that the Borno State government is doing everything possible to fulfill its development plan through massive investment in infrastructure. I had a chat with the Commissioner for Works, Yerima Sali. He says Borno is gradually becoming the envy of northeast Nigeria when it comes to infrastructure. Take a listen. Welcome to Borno Restoration. We've gone around the state and we've seen the massive construction going on in the state capital. We would like to know what's the driving force behind this project?
Thank you very much. You are first of all most welcome, and I'm happy that you have gone around and you are saying for yourself that you have seen massive works. been undertaken. Well, this is what we have actually done, and believe you me, we are still in the process of doing more. Now, I don't know which are the projects that you have gone to see, but I must have gone surely to the flyover bridge, which when we started in December 2019, it was the first of its kind in the whole of the Northeast sub-region. We have been working meticulously on it. It was a project that was supposed to be completed within 18 months. That is, we signed the contract in December 2019. Effectively, work started in January. We were expecting by June 2021, an 18 months project would have been completed. However, along the line, we faced so many challenges, like that of the COVID, and fasting, and this and that. So many things came in. And, but I'm sure you'll appreciate that we have really gone far, and the scope of the project and the nature of the design, the whole concept is not just a carry-go flyover. It's a well-articulated design, structurally, and in terms of even the hierarchy, you've seen it's a multiple stage flyover, which I'm sure maybe even all around the whole of the country, you may not see two of its kind. And apart from the flyover, you must have seen other roads being constructed and reconstructed. Actually, the reason why the flyover was sited in that area is for people who knows Maiduguri. You know, that particular area, which is called custom area, is the main inlet and outlet to the neighboring countries of Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. And then, if you add the traffic, metropolitan traffic itself, so the place used to be highly congested, and it was a gridlock as of a sort. So the solution there, when His Excellency Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, when he came, it was at the back of his mind that we have to provide a lasting solution to this thing. And we came up with the idea of the flyover, and he bought the idea and asked us to implement it. Luckily, we are implementing it, and you've seen the work has gone very far. We have made sure that the whole concept, the whole construction, and whatever is there, that no quality is compromised. You know, there are certain things like the design concept, the procedure in the construction, quality control, and everything is being maintained there. The work is going on very well. But as of now, we are thinking that maybe 3 months after our initial date of commissioning, we have now agreed that it will be commissioned around September. It will be completed and handed over to the government by September this year. The flyover is sited connecting a road that I was telling you is linking to the neighboring countries. And it was a single carriageway. So along the line, we told His Excellency that the beauty of the flyover will be compromised if we do not dualize the road that is connecting it. You know, at that point, is connecting, there are 3 roads there. One is connecting to the Republic of Chad, Cameroon, and Niger. Then the other one is going towards the teaching hospital and to the University of Maiduguri. And then the one that is going inside the town. All the 3 other roads are dualized already. So we put this on table and sought to find a lasting solution. So we also recommended to His Excellency that it's better that road too is dualized. And again, we don't have problem with him as far as development is concerned. He saw meaning in it, and he asked us to make progress to immediately see how we can go about that road.
Now, you talked about challenges you faced. Can you elaborate on these challenges and tell us how you overcome them at the course of your work?
Yes, well, the challenges that one encounters first in Borno presently, is a security issue that all of us are consumed. Even to get construction materials is very difficult. For instance, the earthworks that we do in our works, we have to go as far as Damaturu before you can get the real stabilizing soil for any earth construction. And you know what it has been. Sometimes you are on the way to Damaturu, you are waylaid. Sometimes the security will say there is no movement and this and that. And the fear, even in the people, even building materials, even the construction materials like reinforcement, cement, and all this. Our contractors lost some trucks, to the hoodlums, the insurgents. On several occasions, they attack our contractors with construction materials and completely burn down even the vehicles and the construction materials. So these are some of the few things that, the security challenge is one factor that is now hampering the progress of our construction works. Work that you are supposed to do within a week, it may take you a month. And one of the major challenges that we faced with the flyover was the scaffolding, which was specifically imported by the Chinese from China. And the panels they were going to scaffold and even for the columns. Unfortunately, the COVID issue came and it was delayed for over 6 months. And even, in fact, it had to take the intervention of His Excellency because they were shipped from China and diverted to neighboring Republic of, I think, Congo or something, in the region. And he stayed there for about 4 months until they came later. So these are some of the challenges that we have been facing.
Now, talk to us about sustainability of this project you've achieved so far.
Yes, I want to first of all, if I'm going to talk on sustainability, is the way the public are appreciating these projects. That is why I want to begin. That already people are overjoyed. They are happy that the right hole is being fixed with the right nail. They were expecting these things. Like the flyover, it has now become the pride. If you go there in the morning, or most of the time, you go and see people even just watching by. Some people spend the whole of the day watching the construction works. I am sure when you are proud of something, you will be proud to maintain it. Mostly when we talk of sustainability, I think we are talking of the maintenance and longevity of these things. First, the design have been designed, well, it's an unlimited time design that a bridge should be there for life. And the other projects that I want to hint you about one of the roads that we constructed in the suburb community, the one we call Abuja Talakawa. After completing that road, the whole community came in their group. They came to my office, this very office, in a group to come and thank the government. And I was surprised when they told me they had formed a small vigilante group among themselves, a watch group, that nobody should dump any refuse in these drains, and that anybody who dumps any refuse, they were going to charge that person. And honestly speaking, I've seen that the drainages there is about a year now that we finished this work, and the drainages are very clean. So we are encouraging other communities, other people where such roads are being constructed in their area to imbibe that culture of that community, so that we have to maintain these things by ourselves. Most of the things that causes the flood is when you dump refuse and the drainages become blocked. Now, the flooding was mostly caused because of lack of drainage. Now government has brought road and constructed drainages. It's now left for the people to ensure that these drainages are kept clean and no refuse is dumped there, and it should not be blocked by any reason, for any reason. And I think it will ensure that the sustainability issue will be overcome.
Commissioner for Works, Architect Masali, thank you for your time on Borno Restoration.
Thank you very much, TVC. You are most welcome, and we are grateful.
package on this edition of Borno Restoration. I'm Jessie Tafida. Thanks for being part of it. See you next time. Bye-bye.